You're closer than you've ever been. And that's exactly why everything feels harder than it's ever felt. Right now, as you're watching this, if you're in the middle of the hardest time of your life, if everything feels like it's falling apart, if you're exhausted, if you want to give up, if you're questioning everything, if the struggle feels unbearable, you're not failing. You're not cursed. You're not doing it wrong. You're on the edge of your back-at-third age. And the intensity you're feeling, that's not evidence that you're far from success. That's evidence that you're inches away from it. But here's what nobody tells you. Here's the quantum truth that changes everything. Things always get hardest right before the breakthrough. Not sometimes. Not occasionally. Always. And it's not random. It's not bad luck. It's not the universe testing you or punishing you. It's physics. It's quantum mechanics. It's the natural process of transformation. And once you understand why it happens, you'll never be tempted to quit again. Because right now, you might be thinking about giving up. You might be thinking, this is too hard. I can't do this anymore. Maybe I'm not meant to have this. But what if I told you that thought, that feeling, that urge to quit? That's the final obstacle. That's the last barrier between you and everything you want. That's the exact moment when most people turn around and walk away from their breakthrough. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why things get hard before breakthroughs, what's actually happening beneath the surface, why your mind wants to quit right before you win, and how to push through the final resistance so you don't abort your breakthrough when it's right there. But I need to warn you, this isn't going to make the hardness go away. It's going to make it meaningful. It's going to transform your suffering from evidence of failure into evidence of proximity to success. And that shift in perception? That's what gives you the strength to take the final steps, to push through the final barrier, to complete the breakthrough instead of aborting it. Are you ready? Because this is Quantum Pathway. And we don't just teach you about breakthroughs. We teach you to recognize when you're in one, even when it feels like you're in breakdown. Let me show you the exact quantum mechanism that makes things harder right before breakthroughs. And this is going to change how you see everything you're going through. In physics, there's a principle called activation energy. It's the minimum energy required to start a chemical reaction or break through a barrier. And here's the key. The activation energy is highest right before the breakthrough happens. Right before the reaction completes. Right before the barrier breaks. Think of it like pushing a boulder over a hill. The hardest push is right at the top. Right before the boulder tips over and rolls down the other side effortlessly. If you give up right before the top, all that pushing was for nothing. But if you can make one more push, if you can give just a little more energy, the boulder tips. And suddenly everything becomes easy. Your breakthrough works the same way. You've been pushing, you've been climbing, you've been working, and you're at the top of the hill, right before the tipping point. But your mind doesn't see the tipping point. It only feels a resistance. So it interprets a resistance as evidence that you're going the wrong direction, that you should stop, that you should go back. But that interpretation is backwards. The resistance is evidence that you're going the right direction, that you're almost there, that you're so close the breakthrough can taste you. Let me explain this using quantum mechanics. When you're trying to shift from one reality to another, from one frequency to another, from one timeline to another, you encounter what's called quantum resistance. Quantum resistance is the energetic friction between your current state and your desired state. And that resistance is proportional to the size of the shift. Small shift, small resistance. Massive shift, massive resistance. So if things feel incredibly hard right now, it means the shift you're making is massive. The breakthrough you're approaching is significant. The transformation you're undergoing is profound. The hardness isn't evidence of wrongness. It's evidence of magnitude. It's feedback that says, this breakthrough is big, this change is real, this transformation is deep. And here's a quantum truth that most people don't understand. The resistance is highest right before the collapse, right before the wave function resolves, right before the new reality locks in. Nikola Tesla understood this when he talked about frequency and vibration. He knew that to shift from one frequency to another, you had to pass through a dissonance phase. A phase where the old frequency and new frequency are both present, creating friction. And that friction, that's what you're feeling. That's the hardness. That's the struggle. But once you break through the dissonance, once you fully stabilize in the new frequency, the friction disappears. The resistance drops. Everything becomes effortless. You're in the dissonance phase right now. The old frequency, old reality, is still present. The new frequency, new reality, is emerging, and they're clashing, creating friction, creating resistance, creating the hardness you're feeling. But the moment you break through, the moment the new frequency dominates, the old frequency collapses, the friction ends, the resistance drops, and you're in your new reality, effortlessly, smoothly, naturally. But you have to make it through the dissonance phase. You have to push through the final resistance. You have to take the last steps even when they feel impossible. Because on the other side of that final push, everything you want, everything you've been working toward, everything you've been calling in, it's right there, separated from you by one final barrier, one final push, one final choice to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. Now let me show you the pattern that happens before every breakthrough. Because once you see this pattern, you'll recognize where you are in it, and you'll know exactly how close you are to breaking through. Stage 1. The climb, manageable difficulty. This is where you start. You're making progress. Things are hard but manageable. You can see improvement. You feel momentum. You're excited. You're motivated. This stage can last weeks, months, even years. And during this time, you think, I've got this. I can do this. I'm making progress. You're climbing the hill. And yes, it's uphill, but you're moving. You're ascending. You can see how far you've come. Stage 2. The plateau, confusion and doubt. Then you hit the plateau. Progress seems to stop. You're working just as hard, but nothing's changing. You're putting in effort, but seeing no results. This is where doubt creeps in. Am I doing this wrong? Should I try something different? Is this even possible for me? The plateau isn't failure. It's a phase right before the tipping point. It's where the hill flattens out right before it tips over to the other side. But you can't see that from where you are. You just feel stuck, and stuck feels terrible. This is where many people quit. They think, if I'm not making progress, why keep trying? So they stop, they pivot, they try something else. And they never discover they were one step away from the edge of the plateau. One step away from the breakthrough. Stage 3. The intensity, maximum resistance. But if you stay on the plateau, if you keep showing up even when you can't see progress, you enter the intensity stage. This is where things get hard. Harder than they've been before. Harder than feels fair. Harder than makes sense. Everything seems to go wrong at once. Old patterns resurface. New obstacles appear. Your support system crumbles. Your energy depletes. Your faith wavers. And you think, this is it. This is proof I'm not meant to do this. The universe is telling me to stop. But that's not what's happening. This is a final push. This is the activation energy. This is the moment right before the breakthrough. The old reality is making its last stand. Your subconscious is throwing up every resistance it has. Your nervous system is screaming, danger, unknown, go back. Because you're about to break through to a reality outside its comfort zone, outside its known patterns, outside its familiar territory. And it's terrified, so it creates maximum resistance to try to pull you back. But if you push through, if you take action despite the fear, if you keep going despite the hardness, if you choose a new reality despite every signal telling you to go back, you break through. The resistance collapses. The barrier dissolves. The new reality locks in. And suddenly, everything becomes easy. The struggle ends. The flow begins. The breakthrough arrives. Not gradually. Suddenly, because breakthroughs aren't gradual. They are discontinuous. One moment you're pushing against resistance. The next moment the resistance is gone, and you're in a completely different reality. This is the pattern. Climb, plateau, intensity, breakthrough. And if things are intensely hard right now, you're not in stage 1. You're not even in stage 2. You're in stage 3, the final stage, right before the breakthrough, which means you're closer than you've ever been. Not further, closer. Now let me show you the specific traps that make people quit right before their breakthrough. Because if you can recognize these traps, you won't fall into them. Trap 1. Interpreting hardness as wrongness. The biggest trap is thinking, if this were right, it would be easier. If I were on the right path, it wouldn't be this hard. But that's backwards. The right path is often the hardest path, because the right path requires you to grow, to transform, to become someone new. And growth is hard. Transformation is hard. Becoming new is hard. Easy paths keep you the same. Hard paths make you more. And if you want more in your life, you have to become more, which means walking the hard path. Hardness isn't evidence of wrongness. It's evidence of transformation. Trap 2. Comparing your chapter 20 to someone's chapter 1. You see others having breakthroughs that look easy, and you think, why is it so hard for me? What's wrong with me? But you're not seeing their stage 3. You're not seeing their intensity phase. You're seeing them after they broke through, when everything looks effortless. And you're comparing their arrival to your journey, which is insane. It's like comparing a butterfly to a caterpillar and saying, why am I not flying yet? You're in the cocoon stage, the transformation stage, the stage that looks like nothing from the outside, but where everything is changing on the inside. Don't compare your cocoon to someone else's flight. Your wings are forming. You just can't see them yet. Trap 3. Expecting linear progress. You think breakthrough should look like steady, linear improvement. A little better each day. Gradual progress. Predictable growth. But that's not how quantum systems work. Quantum systems stay the same for extended periods, building energy, and then jump to a new level instantaneously. It's not linear. It's discontinuous. Nothing. So when you're in the nothing phase, the plateau, the intensity, your mind thinks progress has stopped. But progress hasn't stopped. Energy is building. The quantum potential is loading. And when it releases, you don't improve a little. You jump to an entirely different level. But if you quit during the nothing phase, you never experience a jump. Trap 4. Listening to others who haven't broken through. People around you will say, maybe you should give up. Maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you're forcing something that's not meant to be. And they are not being malicious. They genuinely want to help you stop suffering. But they don't understand breakthroughs. They've never pushed through stage 3. They've never experienced a breakthrough on the other side of maximum resistance. So they interpret your struggle through a lens of hard equals wrong. And they encourage you to quit. But you can't let people who haven't been where you're going give you advice on how to get there. You can't let people who quit during stage 3 convince you to do the same. Trap 5. Making permanent decisions during temporary pain. This is the deadliest trap. You're in maximum resistance. Everything hurts. You're exhausted. And you make a permanent decision. I quit. I give up. This isn't for me. But you're making that decision from stage 3 energy, from intensity phase consciousness, from breakthrough proximity pain. And that's the worst time to make life decisions, because you're not seeing clearly. You're seeing through the lens of resistance, through the filter of dissonance. If you can just hold off on the permanent decision, if you can just say, I'll decide after I rest, after I breathe, after I make it through this moment, you'll reach stage 4. You will break through. And from that side, you'll look back and think, thank God I didn't quit. Thank God I kept going. But if you make the permanent decision during temporary pain, you abort the breakthrough. And you'll spend the rest of your life wondering, what if I had just held on a little longer? These are the traps. These are why people quit steps away from their breakthrough. Don't fall into them. You're too close. You've come too far. Your breakthrough is right there. So if you're in stage 3, if things are maximally hard, if you're tempted to quit, what do you actually do? How do you push through the final resistance? Here's the strategy. Strategy 1. Shrink the time frame. Don't think about pushing through for a year, or a month, or even a week. Just push through for today, for this hour, for the next 5 minutes. Make your commitment so small that it's doable even in maximum resistance. I won't quit today. I'll reassess tomorrow. That's manageable. That's doable. And tomorrow, you say it again and again until you break through. Strategy 2. Remember your why. When you're in pain, you forget why you started. You forget what you're fighting for. You forget what's on the other side. So remind yourself. Write it down. Look at it. Feel it. This is why I'm doing this. This is what I'm fighting for. This is who I'm becoming. Your why is your fuel. When everything else runs out, Your why keeps you going. Strategy 3. Look for the signs. Stage 3 has signs that you're close. Things breaking down. Old patterns dissolving. People leaving. Chaos increasing. Energy depleting. These aren't signs to quit. They are signs you're close. So when you see them, instead of panicking, recognize them. Oh, this is stage 3. This means breakthrough is near. That recognition changes everything. It transforms suffering from meaningless into meaningful, from random into purposeful. Strategy 4. Do the next right thing. You don't need to see the whole path. You don't need to know how it's going to work out. You just need to do the next right thing. The next action. The next step. The next choice. Just the next one. Then the next. Then the next. One step at a time. One choice at a time. One breath at a time. That's how you make it through. Strategy 5. Refuse to make it mean something it doesn't. Hardness doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. Resistance doesn't mean you should quit. Pain doesn't mean you're failing. Hardness means you're transforming. Resistance means you're breaking through. Pain means you're growing. Don't let your mind create stories that make you quit. Control the meaning you assign to the struggle. Strategy 6. Rest, then return. If you need to rest, rest. If you need to pause, pause. If you need to cry, cry. But after you rest, return. After you pause, resume. After you cry, continue. Resting isn't quitting. Pausing isn't failing. Crying isn't weakness. It's all part of the process. It's all part of making it through. As long as you return. Strategy 7. Imagine yourself on the other side. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself 6 months from now, after the breakthrough, in your new reality. Feel how different it is. How worth it was. How grateful you are that you didn't quit. And let that future you give current you the strength to keep going. You're not doing this alone. Future you is cheering for you, rooting for you, believing in you, because they know you make it, because they are living in the breakthrough you're about to experience. These are the strategies. Use them, all of them, whatever it takes to make it through the final resistance. Because your breakthrough isn't coming. It's here. Your eye in the final stage. You're steps away. Don't quit now. If you're in stage 3 right now, if things are maximally hard, if you're tempted to quit, you need to hear this. You're not alone. And you're closer than you think. Subscribe to Quantum Pathway. This is where we help you navigate breakthroughs. Where we help you recognize stage 3. Where we help you push through the final resistance instead of aborting steps away from success. And in the comments, I want you to write 2 things. 1. How long you've been pushing. How long have you been working toward this breakthrough? 2. Your commitment to not quit. 1 sentence declaring you're staying in it. Example, I've been pushing for 18 months. I commit to not quitting for the next 30 days no matter how hard it gets. This isn't casual. This is public commitment. You're declaring to yourself, to this community, to the quantum field, I'm not quitting. I'm pushing through. I'm completing this breakthrough. Write both. Make it real. Lock it in. Because when you declare your commitment publicly, you're 10x more likely to follow through. You're giving yourself accountability. You're creating energetic support. And when you break through, and you will break through if you don't quit, come back to this comment section and tell us what happened, what shifted, what your new reality looks like. Because your breakthrough will inspire someone else who's in stage 3. Your victory will give someone else strength to keep pushing. Write it now, before the resistance convinces you to stay silent. Make the declaration. Lock in the commitment. Choose to break through. Do it now. Here's the truth nobody tells you about breakthroughs. They are always preceded by what looks like breakdowns. Your life falls apart right before it comes together. Things get worse before they get better. You hit rock bottom right before you soar. Not sometimes. Always. Because a breakdown is the breakthrough. It's the same process. Different sides of the same coin. What you call falling apart is actually reorganizing. What you call getting worse is actually releasing the old. What you call rock bottom is actually the foundation for your launch. The breakdown isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. It's the mechanism of breakthrough. You can't have a caterpillar become a butterfly without the cocoon stage. And the cocoon stage looks like death from the outside. Complete dissolution. Total breakdown. But it's not death. It's transformation. It's the old form dissolving so the new form can emerge. You're in the cocoon. Things are hard because you're dissolving and reforming simultaneously. You're breaking down and breaking through at the same time. And when you emerge, when you complete the transformation, you won't be an improved caterpillar. You will be a butterfly, a completely different form, a completely different reality. But only if you stay in the cocoon. Only if you let the breakdown complete. Only if you don't try to go back to being a caterpillar when the transformation gets hard. The hardness is proof of transformation, not evidence of failure. So here we are. If things are maximally hard right now, if you're exhausted, if you're tempted to quit, hear this. You're not far from your breakthrough. You're inches from it. You're in stage 3, the final stage, the intensity phase right before the collapse. And I know it's hard. I know it hurts. I know you're tired. I know you want it to be over. But it's almost over. The resistance is peaking because you're at the top of the hill. One more push and the boulder tips. One more step, and you break through. Don't quit now. Not after everything you've invested. Not after everything you've sacrificed. Not after coming this far. Just one more day. One more hour. One more breath. One more choice to keep going when everything in you wants to stop. That's all it takes. One final push through the final resistance. And then everything changes. This is Quantum Pathway, where we teach you that hardness isn't evidence you're far from breakthrough. It's evidence you're close to it. The resistance is maximum because the breakthrough is imminent. The pain is intense because the transformation is profound. The struggle is real because the shift is massive. You're not failing. You're completing. You're not going backwards. You're about to launch forward. Your breakthrough isn't coming. It's here, on the other side of this final push, waiting for you, ready for you, calling you. All you have to do is not quit. Just don't quit. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep choosing. And you'll break through. Not someday. Soon. So soon you can almost touch it. The hardness is temporary. The breakthrough is permanent. Push through. You're almost there. One more step. That's all it takes. One more step. And everything changes. Now take that step.